So to get things back on the rails, let's start with the news for the week with Valve. Valve reveals the Steam Machine prices and release date. I'm sure you all have heard it. So let's break it down here. What was announced? Valve officially released the Steam Machine will launch in June on June 29th. The prices that were announced were for the 512 gigabyte no controller. It was $1,049. The 2 terabyte with no controller is $1,349. The 2 terabyte with the Steam controller bundle is $1,428. Valve had reportedly planned a strong price closure at $750, but the cost of RAM and storage rose sharply between the November 2025 announcement and the launch. The same RAM shortages that hit the Steam Deck price hike.
Yeah, just last month.
Yeah,
Which we were talking about. Yeah.
Well, and if you looked at the let me finish this up and we'll get back into prices. The system ships with the Steam SO, AMD powered hardware, console style living room design, full access to the Steam library. Valve is positioning it as a console like PC experience that can compete directly with PlayStation and Xbox while still giving players access to PC gaming. So the $750 price tag, we were estimating around $800 or something like that at the time. And at the time, I remember building out a PC for $800 that was equivalent to what it is now. And
most people did, yeah.
Honestly, it was an equivalent system, regardless whether you wanted a PC or the Steam Machine. And at that time, we were postulating that the Steam Machine might be more for a consumer-friendly kind of market instead of a DIY kind of market. So for all of those people that want to buy from like Starforge instead of putting together their PC, or somebody like that wants the convenience over the customizability, they would definitely be going for it. And it was a comparable system to what you could build at the time. That hasn't changed. The frame of reference has changed, though. So because of all of the price hikes in RAM and memory, you can still build the comparable system to the Steam Machine at the same price point as what they're launching. So it really hasn't dropped in caliber. They haven't replaced any of the hardware. It's just that things have gotten more expensive since they were like, hey, we're doing this thing, guys.
Yeah, no, exactly. And with all the research that I've done, I kind of found like the same thing. Like for a mini build PC, you were looking at spending about $1,300 to have all of these parts and fucking have it like built, you know.
Correct.
And it would be a little bit better than the Steam Machine, but like not much,
Yeah,
right?
like you're adding a better power source to it or something like that. There's
Exactly.
things that you can change to keep it
Your
price down.
motherboard might run it a little bit more efficiently, or you
Yeah.
might find something somewhere.
You may have a couple of sticks of RAM that are a little
But
faster.
for the most part, yeah, it was pretty much like the same thing, and that goes to show just how much like the price of RAM and memory have gone up in almost a year, in actually less than a year. It was like 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy, 30% on everything, and we're this isn't going to be the end of it for the episode, and it's not going to be the end of it for the end of the year,
Mm.
honestly. But it's honestly fucking staggering how expensive that shit's gotten.
Well, and it's
But
gotten to the point where it's like I was talking with Mrs. Sternzy this morning. It was like, because I asked her, I was like, hey, did you really want to stream? Because she talked to me about she talked to me about wanting to stream. And I was like, is that like, are you saying that because it's a me thing, or are you saying that because that's what you want to do? Because that's kind of the defining factor as to whether I get a Steam Machine for you or we build another PC. Because the Steam Machine won't be able to stream nearly as efficiently as a built PC will. But if I'm going to
well,
spend the $1,500 on the Steam Machine, I can easily spend $1,500 on a comparable system that'll be able to stream a lot more efficient than the Steam Machine.
what would be the point of the Steam Machine? Just so you could play like games in the living room or whatever, and not
We'd
on
be
the
able to
PC.
play and we'd be able to play connected. Like we'd be able to
Okay.
play, but
Yeah.
that would be only if she didn't want to stream. Like she wants to
Well,
stream.
I mean, worst case, like, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to stream, like, at this point, like, you might want to get a console, right?
Hmm.
How do the prices compare to the competition? Traditional consoles, and we're gonna list these from the least to the most, starting off with the Switch 2, is currently $449 I could find online. Um, for the Xbox Series X, this was the also the 2 terabyte. This was 699. For the PlayStation 5 Pro, this was 899, and for the Steam machine, as we just said, was 1,049. So, and that was for the 512 gigabyte. I'm
Okay,
sorry
smaller.
for the X. Yeah. Which is like fucking crazy, but comparable gaming PCs, we have, since Steam marketed this as a PC and not a console, it's only fair we compare it to PCs as well. Digital Foundry estimates that you can build a similar performing gaming PC for roughly the same price. This is what we just talked about,
Hmm.
which is corroborated by Digital Foundry. Some DIY configurations can actually outperform the Steam machine for similar money, which is what we just talked about. And you will, as a PC owner, you'll hear every PC owner on Earth tell you that you can always build a better PC than a pre-made PC. 1,000%. That's just how it goes. Um, but if you don't feel like building your own mini PC, then the Steam machine, it might be your answer if this is something that you're in the market of looking for. Unlike traditional gaming PC, however, the Steam machine includes Valve's streamlined console-like experience and Steam OS optimization, which, yeah, I mean, it already comes with, like, it already runs the Steam. If you're already like in the Steam ecosystem, then you already know how Steam is, you know.
Yeah, but even if you're
Um,
not, I mean, the Steam library spans multiple generations of multiple systems. You can go
that's
back
true
and
too.
find stuff
And
on the PlayStation or on the Xbox and the PlayStation.
this isn't only a console experience, but it's also a PC experience, which is something that I see a lot of people forgetting to mention, is you can still use this as a PC, similar to, remember how like the PlayStation 3 was back in the day? And
Yeah,
that's what made the PlayStation 3 so fucking sick. You could sit there and like surf the fucking web on your PlayStation 3. Like that shit was banger. You were
yeah.
like, oh damn, I want to download a theme for my PlayStation 3. Let me just go to PlayStation3themes.com and bam, I could just download a theme for that shit. That was huge.
Well, and I remember actually
And
having a conversation with Mrs. Stearnsy at one point when it was like, "Hey, we can't afford a PC. We don't have a PC. Let's get a
I
PlayStation
see,
3. We can still kind of do the same things."
and you don't have to pay for internet. I see the Steam machine basically being like a like a PlayStation 3 with better UI. Because I will say, like, surfing the web on the PlayStation 3 was bullshit.
Yeah, it kind of
But
sucked.
like with this, you'll be able to hook up keyboard and mouse, you'll be able to hook up your Steam controller, you'll be able to do all of that shit. Um so that's how I see this pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever a bad move for Steam to be doing this. They definitely have the library. They should
Well,
absolutely have a console.
my problem is, was this too soon, right? Did they announce this too soon? And then with the current, because like we just said, it's not Steam's fault that it's this price. They literally have to price it this way just due to the price of everything out here, right?
Hmm. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a bad move, and I don't think they disclosed it too early. I
Well, my
honestly
thing is,
think what they
who can
saw was
af-
they saw this happening, and
who is
because we've
this?
we've talked about it before, where these larger companies absolutely see these kinds of trends. They have people
Yeah.
specific to defining this stuff. And I think what they did was they saw this happening. They're like, listen, we need to give people a heads up as what's going on right now. Hey, we have a
Well,
console in the works. So that way, if they were to be like, now, hey, we're dropping our console, and we had none of this context. We didn't know that they were developing a console in the middle because the consumer doesn't think about that. They think that it was developed in the day that it was released. We don't think
Mm,
about their thoughts three,
not
4 years back.
not PC consumers, which is this market. My thing is, who is this targeting? Because this isn't like a console, right? This isn't Steam or Valve trying to steal PlayStation 5 consumers. This isn't Steam trying to steal Microsoft consumers. This is like Steam just trying to expand their ecosystem. But, and as we'll get to, there are other ways to stream your games to other devices on your house in your household. We'll talk about this later in the story. But and as PC gamers, a lot of people know how to like do this. So to spend $1,000, which is a lot of money, that's almost a premium. As it's not a premium console, right? They're not saying this is a premium console. They're but this but it's priced as one just because of how
I
expensive
think
everything
it's
fucking
priced
is.
as a mini form PC. I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Really
what I'm
they don't
saying though. But back in the
market it as
day,
a gamer or as
back
a
at
console.
back in the day, everyone would expect to get a mini PC for about $600 to $800, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you would get uh your bigger PCs for like $1,000 to $1,300.
Yeah,
And that would be your PC that you could just easily upgrade, and that would be everyone's starter PC, 1,000 to $1,300.
yeah.
But now this has become a mini PC, which is really hard to market to people outside of the PC space, but also people inside the PC space are gonna look at that and say, I don't, why would I spend 1,000 or $1,400 on a mini PC? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
I think where the conversation is, I don't think that's where the conversation is. I think where what people are talking about are, I put together this PC, it's working fine. I don't want to put my time and energy into building another PC, but my kids are growing up, or my wife has the attention of the PC, or I have too many hands on the PC. I want to get a different one, but I can do other stuff other than gaming on this PC. Let's get another PC that's strictly critiqued around gaming. It's not. I don't think this is for the person that can build or wants to build their next PC. I think this is more towards the person that ordered the PC from Starforge and it's slowing down because it's 5 years old at this point, and they already have a Steam library because they're on PC. And of course, why would you not have a Steam library on PC? It's free aside from the games you buy. And even then, there's free games. So I guarantee you, if not, upwards of 70 to 80% of PC owners have a Steam library of some caliber that would automatically roll them into this as a decent.
I would even say
A,
just Steam library because this is a PC. So you even if you have like Steam keys from like good old games, or not Steam keys, but like the game keys from like good old games or whatever, um where they just give you like the hard copy of the game. Like I'm pretty sure you could even figure out a way to port that over to your Steam machine easily.
well, and that's what I'm saying is, it's not for
No,
somebody who's outside of the space, the more DIY computer
that makes a
techy
lot of
person.
sense.
It's more for the person that doesn't want to invest the time into it, and they're
That
they
still
they'd be spending just as much money on a
that
comparable
still
PC through
works.
like Starforge.
That still works on their PC, but instead, no, I never thought of it like this, and that honestly, strangely, that makes a lot of sense. Like if you're one of the people, like if you're in graphic design or whatever, and your video games are bogging down your PC, it might actually be cheaper to spend $1,400 on the Steam machine than the $2,500 of 16 gigabytes of RAM and memory, you know, that you're gonna have to buy to upgrade your PC. That honestly, I never even thought about that. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Mm-hmm. No,
I will
Steam was smart about coming out with the Steam machine,
I will
and
say, Stearnsy, I I feel extremely blessed that I was able to build my PC, like buy my parts before all of this shit happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And honestly, I never like when I remember when I bought my RAM, um 2 weeks or it was about 2 months. I remember sending you a picture of it and it had spiked uh, like 3x.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, holy shit. Like, could you imagine if I had waited like till now to wait to buy my shit?
Well, and
And
that's what
I
I
couldn't,
asked you. I was like, "Did you already buy it?" And you were like, "Yeah, I already bought it." I was like, "Well, thank
yeah.
God."
Um, yeah, once I heard whispers that RAM prices might start going up, I was like, I ain't risking it. I'm not risking
This
it.
is
I
not
said,
gonna go down.
I said, and then after that, I bought my GPU, or yeah, I bought my GPU and my processor because I was like, well, I mean, shit, if RAM prices are going up, then these are going up too. I never expected memory to go up though. I think
Yeah.
actually memory was the last thing I bought, and that was the only thing that I bought above MSRP at the time. Um,
And that was still only like a week to 2 weeks before it exploded.
I think it had gone up like $50 to $100. I think I bought like a stick of 2 TB Samsung memory. I think it was like $299. So I think it had gone up like $100 since. But I mean, compared like that's still compared to what it is now. Like I thought $100 was crazy, but like
It's
what
like
it is
threefold that
now,
now.
and yeah, and they're only saying it's gonna get fucking worse.
Yep. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Well, some better news. Valve's plan to fight scalpers. We've already seen some of this with the Steam controller. Let's see what they say about the Steam machine. Valve expects demands to significantly exceed supply. At launch, purchases will be restricted to established Steam accounts. Customers must also have qualifying Steam purchase history before buying allow or I'm sorry, before being allowed to place an order. Valve says this is designed to prevent bots and scalpers from buying up launch inventory. Similar restrictions were used during the Steam Deck launch. Yeah, yeah, we saw a little bit more during the Steam controller. They really threw it in everybody's face, or they really threw it in the scalper's face at that point.
Oh,
Uh,
dude, it gets even better. Like
I
they
know.
took it a step farther. They fucking yeah, they killed it.
All right. So rather than traditional first come, first serve pre order, Valve kept registrations open for several days and then randomly selected who gets to buy one, removing the need to rush the moment a sale goes live. After the random selection, users received an email on June 25th telling them whether they secured a spot in the reservation queue or were added to the wait list, with the first purchase invitations rolling out June 29th. Customers will have 72 hours to complete their purchase once they've received a link, or they lose the reservation entirely. Demand was so intense, the store page reportedly sold out within 10 minutes of going live. Valve says it aims to work through the full reservation queue by the end of 2026, meaning waitlist buyers could be waiting until 2027 for their 72-hour link.
God damn.
Dude, these scalpers have no fucking shot. I love
Yeah, dude.
this.
I mean, like at this point, like what's the fucking point of scalping, right? Like if you're gonna have to wait until 2027 to even have a chance to have your pre-order or whatever, right?
Well, the thing that I love about this is I'm gonna have to wait regardless, right?
Well,
I'm
the
I had to do it with the Wii. I had to do it with the 360. I had to do it with the PlayStation 4. And now the PlayStation 5. Right? I have had no shot at getting one, and I have to wait for mine because they get sold out, and I refuse to pay over MSRP for something that I can get for MSRP as long as I get the opportunity to get it.
well, not
And
just that. but this is the longest that you'll have to wait, right? Like the
Yeah,
line is only going to get shorter from here because a lot of people might drop out, a lot of people might miss out on their 72-hour link, a lot of people are probably bots and at this point are don't want to spend or gamble the money on something that people are just going to have to wait to receive anyway, which means who's going to want to spend that kind of money on a Steam machine, you
I
know?
think this is an AA plus, like plus resolution to scalper problems. And I think the only reason that people are going to be scalping is because there's other companies that aren't doing this, which we've been bitching about for God knows how long. I know I've been bitching about it for at least 3 years now.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, the faster that you can secure the scalper problem, the faster you can
Get your
like
shit
get
to your
ahead of
customers.
bad PR. Yeah. So, what are the early impressions saying of the Steam machine? The reviewers praise the build quality. The Steam OS continues to impress as a console-like PC interface, and setup is reportedly fast and straightforward. The living room experience feels closer to a console than a traditional gaming PC. I can see that with like the Steam Deck. Also, performance appears strong at 1440p and a respectable 4K resolution. So, I mean, fucking yeah, fucking I'd I yeah,
Pat's at a loss for words.
I know. I expect nothing less from this. I mean, coming from what the Steam Deck does, like Valve doesn't usually put out bad products, honestly.
Yeah, no,
Um,
even back to the first controller that they put out. I mean, it was
no.
never a bad thing.
Every single every single review that I read, watched, or um like I guess read in Braille. Literally everything under the sun. Fucking, they all said it was a great machine, except for how expensive it was.
Yep.
That's every single one. That was the only negative that I really got out of there was it was too expensive. Um, and when we go on to the concerns, this is the first point. Nearly every outlet points out the price. Several reviewers question whether the hardware justifies the premium. Some critics argue that PC gamers lose upgrade flexibility compared to traditional desktops, which is true. You know, when you have the smaller mini PCs, you don't have the demand as much for parts,
You
right?
don't have the
So,
ability to upgrade either because your
well,
your size restraints are there. You have much
well,
tighter straight size restraints.
there's a lot tighter size restraints, and there's a lot less parts to choose from. So, supply and demand type shit,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Others question whether console players will spend over $1,000 on a system that lacks the exclusives of PlayStation or Nintendo, which is true, and also come with a controller. That's another thing. Is you're a if you buy the base Steam machine, it doesn't come with a controller,
Well, the two base
which
the two base
which sucks.
memory types, the 512 and the 2 terabyte. Neither one of them come with controllers. It's only the 1 2 terabyte combo package that comes with the controller. So
Yeah, no, you're
regardless, you're
right.
still paying $100 for a controller when you can get your hands on it. So
Which sucks
that does
because
suck.
they're also aren't I believe they're still out of stock for the controllers.
I agree.
So it's not even like you can get a fucking controller if you wanted one.
No, but
So
they will be
you're
releasing more eventually.
can you imagine playing in your living room being stuck to play mouse and fucking keyboard on the couch? What kind of bullshit is that, bro?
Well, then get the combo pack with the controller. You're definitely gonna
Fifteen
use.
hundred dollars though. That's
Yes, I
crazy.
understand, but you're gonna pay $1,500 for a regular PC where you're gonna lock it into a
Damn.
desk and you're gonna sit there with a mouse and keyboard anyways. And like I said, this isn't for the type of person that wants to have another desktop PC. They
Yeah, but
want
I
to
can
have a
guarantee you
gaming
it's not
console
for a
that can.
person that wants to pay $1,500 to play with a fucking Steam controller.
Yeah, but
That's
why?
crazy. That's crazy.
But if the price is the only issue, everything else about the console exceeds expectations. Why is the price the only thing that we are restricting ourselves? When PlayStation raises their prices, they're not even putting out new material. It's the same fucking old PlayStation that they released 3 years ago. And all they did was up the price. Yeah, okay, it's under $1,000, but it's under $1,000 for a 7-year-old fucking system. This is a brand new console, groundbreaking everything. They're doing the best that they can with the hardware that they're given. And everybody wants to scoff at a $1,500 price tag when it's
No,
comboed with their brand new controller.
it's honestly just sticker shock. I'm gonna be honest with
I
you,
agree.
Sternsey. I it's just crazy that it's just so expensive. I mean, I agree with you. It's not a bad console, and I even put it in the script. Everyone says this is a great fucking console, but the
Yeah.
only thing that they can bring up is trying to justify $1,000. Like I said, this just goes to show you how expensive this kind of shit is. And honestly, it's only going to get more expensive. Like I think last a couple weeks ago we reported that they're expecting these prices to go on until 2030 or some shit.
Yeah. That's the projections. But I mean, I don't see a problem with the price the way it is, honestly. Out of everything on the market, I would be the first system I would buy would be the Steam Deck. I would buy that if given the money today to buy any one of the systems, I would buy the Steam Deck.
Why? At this point, I would say just spend the extra $100 and get the Steam machine.
Or I'm sorry, I meant the Steam machine. My bad. I meant I would buy the Steam machine. The
Yeah,
Steam
because the
machine
fucking
is
the
definitely going to be the next generation of what we
because
need.
now the Steam Deck is fucking $1,000 or it's $950 now,
No, I wouldn't.
and
I wouldn't buy
and
the Steam Deck.
and at this point, like if the Steam machine reportedly runs is 16 times stronger than the Steam Deck, then you might as well just spend the extra $100 on the thing that's 16 times more fucking stronger.
Yeah,
It's fucking crazy.
yeah, I totally would go for the Steam machine. But and like I said, the price is the only downside to this whole thing. I mean, Steam is not bad. The Steam OS isn't bad. The controller isn't bad. Everything is really good, and it really seems that everything in the concerns that were on the script here is kind of a nitpick until you get to the amount of money, and even then, the thing that I'm toiling over with the Steam machine isn't even the amount of money. It's do I buy a Steam machine or do I buy a PC? Because I need the ability of a PC, but not necessarily the basics of the ability of a PC that the Steam machine offers. I need something that'll be a little more in depth. So, do I spend the $1,500 on a Steam machine and just be able to play games, or just be able to play games and some light computer work? Or do I get another desktop so that I can stream and do the other things that I would like run different programs that I would need to run to make streaming, convenient for me? And that's where I battle with it. And not even at the $1,500 price tag. I'll buy it at the $1,500 price tag. That has no problem in my mind. But do I buy that or an actual PC that'll be doing more? That'll be um customized more towards what I want it to be. I think the straight fact that as to why I won't be having a Steam machine is the fact that there is so little customizability that you can do with such a small form factor.
Yeah, but I mean, like we said, but Sternsey, and as you'll go on to read, like if you already have a PC, you might not even need a Steam machine.
That's here, let's get into it. This actually a good deal? Yes, if you want to plug and play a PC gaming or want to plug and play PC gaming experience, which we've talked about many times. You primarily play Steam games. Yes and no. You want a console you want console simplicity without a headache of Windows. You plan to keep the system in a living room setup. And then no if You already own a gaming PC. Yes. You enjoy upgrading hardware. Valid. You're comfortable building your own PC. This is very true. You only care about performance per dollar. I think that's a little
No,
I
no,
still
because
think it's a
like
little
we
get I think it's a little nitpicky here too.
no, because it's absolutely true. If you don't mind building your own PC, then obviously like and you care about cost per dollar, then you should just buy the parts yourself and buy one and build a mini PC yourself that does the same exact shit that you can get a little
Just with
bit
your
better
performance tweaks.
a little bit better performance, and you're able to buy, your parts separately a little bit cheaper. Like everyone knows if you build your own PC, it's going to be cheaper. Well, it's not
Yes,
going to be cheaper, but you'll get more bang for your buck.
that's valid.
And that's what this is saying. If you like if you're that type of person, then you're going to get more bang for your buck just building it yourself. But
I agree, but like we said, the
if that's
Steam
not your
machine,
type of thing, and if you're the type of person that always just gets a pre-built, which is fine. There's plenty of people like that when you're kind of dealing with like thousands of dollars, for some RAM, you know. Like I don't blame anyone for wanting someone else to be liable for that type of shit. Um, but maybe the Steam machine is more your style.
yeah, but I mean, we just said earlier that if you care about price per dollar or performance per dollar, that the Steam machine is still comparable to what you could build on the market. I
Yeah.
mean, price per dollar doesn't really matter here, and that's me nitpicking on the script, honestly. But aside from that, I mean, the if yes is a lot bigger than the if no column.
No, I agree with you. I definitely, like I said, like I've said this whole fucking episode, this has been a great deal, or not a great deal, but this is a great system. Um, and like you brought up earlier, Sternsey, if you just got a fucking shit ton of games bogging down your PC, this might be a cheaper alternative than upgrading your PC
It might be a cheaper alternative than buying a second
or up
PC if you want a
upgrading
slave
your parts.
PC. Yeah, I mean,
Even,
like like if you're streaming, right? Let's say you're thinking about getting a second PC for streaming because your stream runs like dog shit because you're running I don't know, Starfield or Star Citizen in the background and
I
you
don't know
really
if
can't
this is
handle it.
powerful enough to stream.
Well, no,
Um,
what I'm saying is you could use it as a slave PC for your games and then stream off of your mainline PC. Just like we were
yeah,
talking about with the
maybe.
graphic design thing.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
way
yeah.
you're playing while you would use a capture card. You would
Okay,
your
I see
Steam
what you're saying
machine,
now. Yeah,
run
yeah,
it to a capture card, and then into your
yeah,
PC.
yeah.
Then you would stream from your PC. So all of the processing for the video game is being done on the Steam machine. So it could be like almost a quote unquote budget option for a streamer to have a secondary PC as long as you are mainly in the Steam library or
No,
you're a PC friendly gamer and you have a
you're absolutely
where you can
y-
use.
y- you're absolutely right, and I think to Steam's credit or to Valve's credit, uh, that is because this thing runs like an actual PC, right? So you have that kind of flexibility to basically do whatever the fuck you want with it,
You
which
may be
is
able to just
excellent.
download directly into your graphics card. You might not even need a capture card, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I would need to get my hands on the Steam Deck, Gabe, if you're listening. Hint, hint, nudge,
Help
nudge.
brothers out.
Or Steam Machine, yeah. But I'll take. I mean, I'm sure Stearnsy needs to try out the Steam Deck too.
No,
So,
Steam machine.
um,
Steam machine with a
so,
controller.
so, if you're new to gaming PC, like if you're looking to get into it, we have some alternatives, but just like with the Steam machine, they all come with their ups and downs. So this all comes down to you just doing your research and really finding what mini PC kind of fits your lifestyle. Um, uh, all of these are around the same price. One of them is the Asus ROG Nuck. Another one is the Minis Forum Atoman series, B-Link GTI series, the Geekcom Gaming Mini PCs, or you can look up a custom built ITX gaming PC. The advantages are sometimes they're often cheaper, they're more upgradable, and they're full Windows support versus the Steam Machine, which is Steam OS. And these can be used for gaming and productivity, but so can Steam Machine, honestly. The disadvantages are there more setup is required for these, so you'll have to like get in there and have it like, you
Work
know,
on your BIOS, check your processor. It's a lot more
yeah.
handsy.
Yeah, it's a less console-like experience, which is what the Steam OS brings to the Steam machine. That like the Steam OS is just great. It's and in fact it's so great that Microsoft asked Steam to bring their OS to their Asus ROG.
Yeah.
And the potential driver and Windows maintenance headaches, which is what you get from a typical PC, but this is
Uh-huh.
just mini form factor. So mini form factor equals big headache.
Yeah, big headache, but there's advantages to having a mini PC.
I agree.
Tomaso.
1,000%.
He got
And
a
like I said, back in the day, the advantages of the mini PC were it was cheaper than your starter PC, right?
Yeah.
These were like this was like a PC that could help your main PC, and it was cheaper than just buying a starter PC. But nowadays, like was just saying, like these things are now the price of what a starter PC was. So it's just like the sticker shock is almost like, holy shit, dude. And I get that Steam has no like they can't do anything about that, right? Steam, as much as Steam wants to sell this at a $350 loss, I don't think a company can sustain those type of losses.
That's
Um,
valid.
and it's just like you can't blame them for these prices, but it's just looking at this price and seeing that it's just a mini PC, you're just like, Jesus Christ. Holy fuck, what kind of world do we live in?
I agree, but I keep going back to it, dude. You can't build anything better for the same price, honestly.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you
agree.
can get a couple of things better, but they've
It's
done
crazy.
Valve has done an amazing job at keeping that price to where it's logical. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
I look at Valve's pricing kind of like you look at a pawn shop's pricing. They've got to make their cut, but they're going to bring their expense down as low as they possibly can so that they can make that cut.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people were looking at this and seeing this as a way for people to get into PC gaming. And that's kind of the opposite of exactly what it is. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
not going to get into PC gaming with a Steam machine. I would, if someone was like, I'd like to get into PC gaming, in fact, I would tell them to stay far away from the Steam machine. Um,
I still think it gives you the usability of a PC with the
I
accessibility of a gaming
I
console.
think I think if you have kids, I would say like in your situation, if maybe you want to sit on the computer and play your PC, or you're at work and your kids want to play a video game, the Steam machine I say is a perfect option. Like you said, brought up earlier in the show, Sternsey, with like the bogging down your computer shit. I think the Steam machine's a perfect option. But I feel like that's about it. At this price point, I feel like that's about it. Unless I can tell you one thing though. If I ever find out that I'm in the will for a great uncle that we don't know about, you bet your darn rootin' tootin' ass I'm gonna be
I'm
buying
getting
the
a
Steam
Steam
machine.
machine.
That's right.
So, what if
Uh,
you already
so
own a gaming PC? Hold on, let me finish this real quick and then we can get on to our final thoughts. You may not need a Steam machine at all. Steam Remote Play can stream games from your gaming PC to another room. A Steam Deck can act as a streaming client. Many smart TVs support streaming apps such as Sunshine and Moonlight. Devices like NVIDIA Shield can accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, and I think the Nvidia Shield's like 400 or $500,
Yeah.
which is just like a big old, looks like a VCR that you just
Mm-hmm.
like, or like a
Just hook up.
PlayStation 5 that you just hook up to your TV and it just streams games from your PC.
Yep.
And I believe Moonlight and or
Sunshine and
Moonshine,
Moonlight.
yeah, that shit. I believe those are just apps that you can download from your like your PC and on your smart TV, and it just like streams apps. But I heard that there's a slight latency problem with that. So if you're like a lag freak, I'd probably stay away from that option. But
Or if you're
if
deciding
you
to play
don't,
COD.
yeah, or if you're just a casual person that just wants to sit on your couch and play a fucking game, then yeah, you might check that out for sure. And the Steam Deck, like yeah, all you have to do is just like that's just like the Switch thing. You know, it comes with the Steam Deck Home that plugs straight up to your TV. You just plug it
Mhm.
in and you can play. Which is fantastic. I love that shit. But yeah, that's just like some cheaper options. So if you don't have $1,000 laying around, or if you haven't recently found out that in your great uncle's will that you never heard of,
You got magically in for $100,000.
yeah, you can't just magically afford a Steam machine out of the blue. You know, those are a couple cheaper options that um,
May tie you over.
essentially achieve the same thing.